First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone while unto his truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the type D lesson is News and Prophecy, the King of the East. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we get started with today's lesson, have a quick news article here by CBS News. And it reads that China military parade sees Xi Jinping joined by Putin and Kim Jong-un for a huge display of anti-U.S. unity. Let's get a little bit more. It says here, Beijing, China flex its might and muscle on Wednesday at a military parade in Beijing, showcasing its latest missiles, advanced weapons, systems, and drones. So in his address, President Xi Jinping said his nation was unstoppable, said it was China's biggest military parade ever, meant to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II and Japan's formal surrender, but the massive victory day. It says procession down change and avenue, the name of which mean eternal peace, said carry a much broader message. Standing next to Xi for the parade were Russia Vladimir Putin and North Korea Kim Jong-un. So right here, we're seeing right now that, the Lord is constantly moving the chess pieces around. We're seeing that right now that this Ezekiel chapter 38 war is lining up just like clockwork. And we're seeing now that, the king of the East, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and many others are getting ready to join in battle against Israel and also against America, Babylon the Great. And also we know that at some point NATO is going to turn against the whore. You know what I'm saying? So these things are lining up just like clockwork. So we're seeing right now that China is flexing their muscle, showing their military might. And also, these heathens are raging, saying that we are strong. So they're not afraid of the big bully. You know what I'm saying? America, the hammer of the whole earth, the nation police. We seeing right now, they saying that America is very weak. They have this cruel law that is over. We seeing that right now. America is constantly circling the drain. And once again, these Bible prophecies are popping off the page. The Bible is speaking right now. So we, just like I say, Revelation chapter 16, Revelation chapter 9, Joel chapter 3, Ezekiel chapter 38, and many others. So these things are popping out. Also, there's a rumor that China is preparing to go into Taiwan. So we already knowing that America will not be able to hold down these different fronts. They already having this build up and this crisis with Venezuela. Also, another a crisis over here with Russia and Ukraine. Also now, it's reports that China is getting ready to go into Taiwan. So these things are right here on man, I'm telling you. And also we seeing that Israel and Iran is constantly picking up. So we seeing that these new alliances are coming into play. Iran, China, Russia. You know what I'm saying? North Korea, the major players, so the Lord is putting it together. The Lord is gathering the nation for the controversy of Zion. So the Lord is getting ready to return, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. The Lord is getting ready to judge this play. We're ready to get out of this nightmare. So this right here is very, very major. But we knowing that we're very close to the the implementation of the RFD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast. We know that Jacob trouble is out the door. We're seeing that we're at the beginning stages of World War III. We're seeing that we're in that transition of power. These things are taking place left and right. It's time to lock in. It's time to be, you know what I'm saying, stay prayed up. Seek the Lord right now, because we're running out of time. And also we're seeing that time is constantly accelerating. So man, we're here, man. So let's get a couple of precepts before we start today's video. Let's go here to Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1. It says here, so why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So these heathens right now, you know, so you pretty much the kings of the east, all of them are pretty much heathens. We know that, you know, some Israelites and some of those countries also, but we're seeing now that they are raging right now. They're coming into alliance against the West, NATO, and also against Israel. So these things right here are very critical. You know, also it was already a rumor that China and Russia would get ready to start their own new world order. So we already know right now things is getting ready to go nuclear. But before they go nuclear, we know that they're going to bring forth that grain of rice, this total control. This man is managing a vain thing. You know, it's all of them managing a vain thing. But we know that the next superpower is coming. It's the kingdom of heaven that dwells in rice. The Lord is very close. That's why the Lord said, look to the east. So, you know, the Lord will give us clues left and right. So, you know, look to the east. The king of the kings of the east, they're getting ready to come on that dry land in you know, come on that dry land, which in fact is the Euphrates River. So we know that the Euphrates River also is drying up. I don't know if it's completely dried up right now, but we know that it's dry enough where they can bring their military equipment across that river into Israel. So these Bible prophets are lining up just like clockwork. The least of the flock should draw them out. Let's read this once again. It says, in the NLT, so why are the nations so angry? So why do they waste their time with futile plans? Because it's not going to mount up to a hill of beans. Because when the Lord, when Israel go down and when America go down, America will not ever rise again. There will be no inhabitant left there. These IBM missiles are getting ready to fly. But once that these things take place, the Lord is going to destroy the rest of these heathens military, and also he's going to destroy them. So in their technology also. So we coming upon that time. Ezekiel chapter 38, you know, read it, you know, so we coming upon these that are aftermath. So the Lord's getting ready to return with that great glory and great power. So the Lord is getting ready to show up. That's what we constantly warning you about left and right. So let's get this right here, because the Lord is controlling the minds of these leaders upon the earth. The Lord is moving these chess pieces around, putting the spirit upon them to bring forth what? Prophecy in the end of what? Days. We're at the end of an eon, the end of an age. We hear, man. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1, it said, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So as the rivers of water, he turneth it so whithersoever he will. So right now, the Lord is controlling the minds of these leaders, you know, Russia, China, you know, North Korea, you know, putting these things together. And one thing about it, we know that right now the Lord is getting ready to bring this nightmare to an end. We cannot wait. So we know that judgment is now at hand. The Lord is gathering the nation for the controversy of Zion in the valley of Jehoshaphat. So we are very close, man. We are so very excited. So now, let's start today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified. So let's go here with the video first. Then we'll look at a map of the Euphrates River. Let's start here first with this first video right here.
China's military parade had a very clear message for the U.S. and for President Donald Trump. For one, it was a very deliberate show of unity among China, Russia, and North Korea, with each of them, China's Xi Jinping, Russia's Vladimir Putin, North Korea's Kim Jong-un, openly defying the U.S. on ending the war in Ukraine, on the idea of nuclear disarmament or limitation talks, and in many instances on trade. Second, for China, it was a very clear demonstration of Chinese military might, with China revealing entirely new weapon systems, including new nuclear systems and new drone technology. Two areas where the concern is that China is no longer just competing with the U.S., but might, in some instances, be getting ahead. Finally, while Donald Trump has claimed warm personal relationships with Xi, with Putin, and with Kim, They're showing in that unity in Beijing that their strategic interests are far more closely aligned with each other's than anything they might be talking about with President Trump. It's an instance where the power of personality, or the art of the deal even, is showing its limitations.
A massive military parade in Beijing was witnessed by some of America's most powerful adversaries. China's leader, Xi Jinping, welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. He took the train straight from North Korea. It is all part of China's quest to become the world's leading military power as the U.S. pulls back from traditional alliances.
Well, China flexed its military might and muscle at the parade here in Beijing this morning. It also showcased its latest military hardware. Well, during his address, Chinese President Xi Jinping said China was unstoppable. With the sound of cannons firing across Tiananmen Square, soldiers from the People's Liberation Army goose-stepped in perfect unison, moving as one. This was part of the largest military parade ever to be held in China, marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Overseeing his troops under a blazing sun, China's President Xi Jinping. Greetings, comrades. You are working hard, he told them. And then it was the unveiling of Beijing's new military hardware, nuclear-armed missiles with potential global reach, hypersonic weapons, autonomous underwater drones, and laser air defense systems. But this spectacle was more than just commemorating the war dead. It was an opportunity for Xi to take center stage, flanked by his powerful allies and neighbors, Russia's President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And the message was undeniable: strength in solidarity and a challenge to the US-dominated world order. Well, China's military power and preparedness is clearly on display for the world to see. What's happening on stage is just as important. The deepening ties between China, Russia, and North Korea would certainly have some in Washington concerned. During his speech, Xi called upon the People's Liberation Army to accelerate its development into a world-class military and, quote, resolutely safeguard national sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity. A demonstration of might and capability that has the potential to back up Xi's vision of a new world order. Interestingly, 15 minutes into the parade, President Trump took to social media and took issue with China. He said that America deserved more credit for China's victory over Japan back in World War II. He then accused China, Russia, and North Korea of conspiring against the United States.
You know, I've been watching very closely what just happened in China. I'm telling you, it's something absolutely massive. The biggest military parade they've ever done, maybe the biggest anywhere in a long time. We're talking tanks, missile launchers, fighter jets, flying overhead, drones that look like something out of the future, all rolling through Beijing like it was a movie set. It was powerful and not in a good way. And right there, front and center, President Xi Jinping. Now, I've dealt with Xi. Smart guy, tough guy. But this wasn't about peace. No matter what he says, he smiled, waved, and called it a celebration of peace. Give me a break. Standing right next to him, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. Think about that. Russia, North Korea, China all together right there, shoulder to shoulder. You don't bring those three together for peace talks. You bring them together to send a message. And that message is very simple. They're not afraid. They don't care about the West. They don't care about sanctions. They are unified. It's not just a parade. It's a power play, a warning, a challenge to the United States and, frankly, the free world. And let me tell you, during my administration, they didn't dare try things like this. They respected us. They knew where the line was. And we kept peace through strength, real strength. But now they're testing us. They're watching. They're waiting.
Have you heard that the Euphrates River is officially drying up? This ancient river is mentioned in the Bible, and it flows through multiple countries like Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, and it's slowly disappearing. This is causing a lot of problems for people and animals who rely on it. In the Bible, in Revelation 16:12, it says that the sixth angel poured out his bowl onto the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east. So who are the kings of the east? My guess is going to be the superpowers in Asia, like Russia or China. Scientists even predict that the
So we're seeing right now that these things right now is coming full tuition. We know right now we're living in the end time, real time. So we go straight to the point. And once again, I hope that you will get edified by today's lesson. So we seeing that now these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. So it's high time to prophesy. You know, hey, we're here, man. Our salvation is at the door. So I start here first with Revelation chapter 16. Go straight to the point. 16 and verse 12. 16 and verse 12, Salakia. And it reads, it says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. You know, what are they preparing for? What? For war, the last and final war, right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Abishai. So we see in them last two videos, they're showing you that the Euphrates River, you know, had dried up, you know, so where they can cross over into the valley of Jehoshaphat, also went into Israel. So we are very close. Let's read it in the NLT, then we'll go to a map and get a little bit more edification. It says here, Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12 said, then the sixth angel poured out his bowl, said, on the great Euphrates River, and it dried up so that the kings of the east could march their armies towards the west without hindrance. So we seeing right here that the Lord is getting ready to make a way. They can have a straight shot straight on in there. You know, all their bands and their companies. You know, when you go to Ezekiel chapter 38, it will be Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and many others are getting ready to come up against Israel and the West. The least of the flock shall draw them out. So we seeing that the Euphrates River is dried up. You know what I'm saying? We seeing that, you know, in those video that right now that, you know, these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. So let's go right here to Luke. You know, so we in these times where all things are getting ready to be fulfilled. Let's go here right quick before we go to the map. Luke chapter 21 and verse 22. Luke chapter 21 and verse 22. Straight to the point lesson says here, said, for these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Let's read in the NLT. It said, for those will be the days of God's vengeance. So, and the prophetic words of the scriptures will be fulfilled. So that's where we at right now. These scriptures are speaking loud and clear right now. Measure the time diligently. How do we measure the time? Through what? Through the scriptures. You know, through this wisdom, this knowledge, this gospel. So we're seeing right now these things are fulfilling. We're seeing right now that we're almost at that sad measure, a time of trouble that we have never seen before. Our salvation is at the door. So now let's go here and we're going to go back to Revelation chapter 16. Sorry about the jumping around, but we're going to go to this map right here of Saudi, of the Euphrates River. Let's get this one right quick to show you a little something. You know, I hope it'll pull up, show you, see right here, the Euphrates River. I think it starts right there in Syria. So we're seeing all the major players. So we see the Euphrates River right there by Syria. I hope you can see it. It's further to blow up. You got Turkey, you know what I'm saying? You got Iraq. You have, we see here Saudi Arabia right here. You know what I'm saying? We see the Persian Gulf. We see the Red Sea. All this is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? All here too. We come over here a little bit more. If I can get this phone egg right, come over here a little bit more. We see Israel over here. You know, right there. You know, that little piece of land, but that's not all of the land of Israel, but it's just, you know, showing you look Iran. You see Iran. Then to your north, we see what? Russia. So just get a little thing. I think China is on here. I'm gonna see if I can find another map of Asia to show you a little bit more of the king of the east. This the one I want to show you right here. Let's get a little more edification to show you the kings of the east. So you see a little bit more here. China, Russia. You see Kazakhstan, all these right, India, all they're major. These are coming in here. Thailand, all of them coming into Israel. We seeing it right here. Afghanistan, Iran. You know, see that? You see that, man? The Bible is speaking loud and clear. Just a little, So, I'm hoping you can, see it, so these things are lining up. So, and I think China got nukes, India got nukes, North Korea got nukes, Russia got nukes. Hey, they saying that we are strong. So the heathens are raging right now. So now let's go back to Revelation chapter 16. Let's read that once again. Revelation chapter 16. And we'll start back up at verse 12. We'll read down a couple of verses. Then we'll get some more. Then we'll close out. And we so very excited. Let's read this once again. Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12 says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So prepared for what? For war. So we're seeing right now, we're seeing them last two video that the Euphrates River is drying up. So we're seeing right now, the time and the season. We're here. We're right upon war. We're seeing that we're at the beginning stages of what World War III, the Ezekiel chapter 38 war, Jeremiah chapter 51. There's so many things that just constantly popping up. So now we're seeing right now that the kings of the East are preparing for war against NATO, Israel, and also the West. But at some point, we know that NATO and the EU is going to turn on the whore. They shall burn the whore. Verse 13, it said, I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So right here, we start up at the top. It said these are three unclean spirit is talking about, DC, Washington, DC, which in fact is the military part of it. London is the financial part of it. And also the Vatican is the spiritual or the religious part of it. So right here, that's what that's talking about, this unclean, those 3 unclean spirit, DC, the military, London is the financial, and the Vatican is the spiritual or religious sector of it. It said right here, came out of the mouth of the dragon, and said out of the mouth of the beast, talking about the revived Roman Empire. It's talking about this system. The false prophet, once again, is talking about the Vatican. Let's go to verse 14. It said, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth, and of the whole world, said to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Almighty Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So we see it right here that, we're saying that, these spirit of devils are working miracles right now, talking about their technology, talking about AI, transhumanism, robotics, these biometric, these things right here coming into play, lying wonders, that's what we constantly seeing left and right. That, we're seeing that the mystery of iniquity doers already work, we're seeing this already in place. Verse 15 say, behold, I come as a thief. Who coming like a thief? Our Lord and Savior and our great deliverer, Yahushua HaMashiach. When you go to 2 Thessalonians, I think around 7 or 8, they tell you, look to the brightness of his coming. And it says that blessed is he that watches and keepeth his garment. Who is watching? The true believers, starting with the prophets. Also, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem, and that garment goes into what? This gospel goes into this wisdom, this knowledge. He said, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Those are the two that one don't know what time they were living in, don't know who they are, don't know who their true power is. They're going to be found naked, without this knowledge. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time. So now, let's go here to Revelation chapter 9. Let's go to Revelation chapter 9. Hadn't been in these scriptures now, but now it's our time to bring these out now, because we here, man. These prophets are popping like clockwork, man. Let's start here at verse 12. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12 said, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So woe goes into destruction. We already knowing about World War I. Also, we knowing that World War II has passed. So we waiting on that third woe. What I'm saying? We see this coming very quickly. These terrorists are coming upon us. A time of trouble that we'll never see before. We coming upon that last and final war, the wars to end all wars, which in fact is World War III. That is that third woe that is coming. So let's read this once again. It says in the NLT, it said, the first terror is past, but look, two more terrors are coming. So basically, it's one more terror that is coming. We knowing about World War One, we knowing about World War II. They have passed, but now this last one is coming. So we're getting that military build up across the world. Everyone is preparing for war because the Lord is controlling the minds of these leaders across the world to bring forth prophecy. All things are getting ready to be fulfilled. So we in these times, man. We're living in the end time, real time. Verse 13 says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, said, which is before the Almighty. And everybody goes into Ezekiel chapter 1, the four horns, it goes into that. But verse 14 says, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, said, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So right here, a lot of people thinking that these angels are changed. They're waiting. You know what I'm saying? When the river dries, that's all false doctrine, all sorts of nonsense. So these angels right here, they are going to do the bidding of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, a time and a season, an hour, time and a season, and a day when they're going to bring forth this destruction. So let's read this once again. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 14, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So when you go to Revelation chapter 7, let's jump over there right quick. They're waiting to do the bidding of the Lord, but not before the sealing of the elect. So let's go to this right here, and then we're going to jump back to 9. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1, it says, after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, east, west, north, south, east, and west. Those are the four corners, said of the earth, holding the four winds, said of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And it said, verse 2 said, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. Said, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt not the earth and the sea. We know that the sea and the trees goes into what people. And it said verse 3 said, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And that's about the mark of exemption. And when you go to Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, so this is what it's talking about. They're going to hold back these four winds, which in fact that destroying wind, the last destruction, which in fact those IBCM missiles. So let's go here right quick, then we're going to jump back. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's get a little bit more on those winds, so you can get a little bit better understanding. Sorry about the jumping around, but these prophecies are speaking, man. I'm so very excited. It says here, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 1, it says, thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, and that rise up against me a destroying wind. Let's talk about those IBCM missiles that are going to pivot different parts of the earth. We know that America will be totally destroyed. There will be no inhabitant left in. So the Lord had these angels for a time and a season and a day and an hour. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be released or do the Lord's bidding. They're going to do the Lord's bidding, you know what I'm saying, and destroy the third part of men. We don't want to jump the gun. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 9. We get ready to finish out in a minute. It says here, it's a lot, but man, these are the times they were living in. The Lord, revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets, the watchmen, also the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, starting with the prophets, though. Let's start back up here. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 14 says, saying to the sixth angel, Revelation chapter 9 and verse 14, Salaki, slow it down, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, said, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. We already know that these angels are not under no damn, in no prison nowhere with chains on, waiting to be released. That they don't have any damn thing. We just went through it. It's the time of the season that they're going to do the Lord's bidding to bring forth these prophecies, these last prophecies. Verse 15 said, and the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. So the third part of men is the so-called white men, the devil that the Bible speaks. So we coming upon that last and final destruction. So that IBCM missile and that laser and chariot fire. It says here, verse 16 says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And so he's talking about these warheads. It's going to be so many of them. So we know that and one those IBCM missiles, some of them carry several warheads. Some of them carry 7, 8, 10, as many different numbers. So they're going to hit different parts of the earth. The Lord's going to be guiding these missiles. That's what this is talking about. A lot of people saying it's talking about a 200 million army, but that ain't what it's talking about. The warhead, if you can receive it through the Spirit, it's talking about those IBCM missiles, those warhead, 200 million. So it's going, America would be a lake of fire. Verse 17. Let's highlight this here. Verse 17, Revelation chapter 9 and verse 17 said, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issue fire and smoke and brimstone. It's talking about these warheads that's going to be hitting their mark, describing these IBCM missiles, what I'm saying? They coming out, that glittering sword, hey man, we did, man, these things are here, man. And one thing about it, during John's time, he had to describe it the way he could describe it during the ancient time, so we see that we're here, man. So let's get verse 18. And then we'll go get one more. It said, Revelation chapter 9 and verse 18 said, by these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issue out of their mouths. So right here, it's talking about that destruction. He's divided a Jehoshaphat. The Lord's going to bring that fire, man. We constantly warn you. So that's how we're going to go into basically describing the missiles, and the destruction. Babylon the Great. Also, Israel will be nuked also, but Israel will be rebuilt. So we right upon this thing, we coming upon a thermonuclear chain, because that's what the Bible said. Also, we can go to, I think, Zechariah chapter 14 around verse 12 will tell you about that nuclear exchange, how they eyed wall back in their head. So let's go here to Joel chapter, get this one more and we'll close out. Joel chapter 3. Also, we can go to Isaiah chapter, but I don't want to make it too long, because this is several scriptures that we can keep rolling with, Joel chapter 3, we'll start up at verse 9. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says here, it said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. It said, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come down. So that's exactly what they're doing. These heathens are raging, they're preparing for war. We hear, man, the Lord's causing these things to happen. Verse 10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So that's exactly what they're doing. You've seen with this China military parade, and also in collaboration with Russia and North Korea and many others that joined that military parade, showing their might. We are strong now. We're not afraid of Babylon the Great, America. So right now we're seeing that America, DJ Donald Trump, seeing that his days are determined. So right here now, we know at any given time when they say peace and safety and total destruction will come upon us. So right now they are saying that they are strong, and imagine that vain thing to be the next superpower. So we seeing right now most of these countries right now are preparing for war. We seeing that we're here. The Lord's calling these things to happen. The Lord is in perfect control. Verse 11 says, assemble yourself and come, all ye heathens, gather yourselves together round about thither. Call thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So right here, the Lord saying, get ready, heathens, because I'm getting ready to judge you. In the valley of Jehoshaphat said, let your mighty ones come down. It's talking about what the angels, that ride around, what they even call UFO, UAPs, constantly doing the bidding of the Lord, whether it's good or bad. The Lord is calling these things to happen, bringing forth prophecy left and right. We are so very close. We are so very excited. Verse 12 said, let the heathens be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know what I'm saying? That's that desolate land. You know what I'm saying? Gonna move the northern army far from that border. You know, it's talking about, you know, Saudi Arabia, you know, going into the valley of Jehoshaphat. We coming upon this time. And that's why the Lord said, look to the brightness of my coming to the east. It says here, said, let the heathens be awakened, said, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathens round about. So the Lord is going to bring forth that judgment left and right. Verse 13 said, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. So the Lord is getting ready to destroy these nations. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna destroy their military, and also he's gonna destroy them. Go to Ezekiel chapter 39, tell you about the aftermath. Verse 14 said, multitudes and multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So the day of the Lord is very near upon these heathen. The indignation of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know, we could have got some more, but I think that brings it out. So we seeing right now that Ezekiel chapter 38 wars is lining up just like clockwork. We're seeing that the Euphrates River is drying up. We're seeing that the kings of the east, they're bucking up against Israel and also against America, Babylon the Great. So the wars, you know, the war drums are beating. You know, and also, you know, it's high time to wake out of sleep. Also, it's time to return to your true power while you still have time. All hell is getting ready to break loose. Also, we know that they're coming with this new digital system. You know that we're coming with this grain of rice. It's coming back, you know, fast approaching. So these things gonna be like a domino effect. But the Lord said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is News and Prophecies, the Kings of the East. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.